Welcome back to Beyond Injury Time. I guess we ended game week 8 with one of the important matches again, which was Arsenal against City.
Yeah.
So Arsenal, as we all know, finally crack open City. I guess they've cracked the code after attempting 12
15,
times.
15
12
times, right?
failures. 12 failures.
15. Yeah.
14 failures and the success now.
Yeah, 14 in all competitions, I suppose, or just the
Oh, Pep
Premier
said
League game.
13,
No,
right? They
no,
lost
not in all
13.
competitions. Please, not in all competitions. It was
In
just
the
the Premier
Premier
League.
League. Okay,
14 in
great.
Premier League only. Okay.
So finally, after the master met the apprentice, and
Hmm.
Arteta could get one over Pep, and Pep, as usual, obviously, as most winners are, he was salty after the defeat. He could not handle it gracefully. So,
Yeah.
how did the game go? My personal opinion is that when two heavyweights actually clash and two teams that actually play very similar kind of football, it I don't know, it ends up being a boring game, and I feel it was a boring game. What do you make of it, Abhay?
I think, firstly, uh, how do I say this? Firstly, I didn't like the officiating at all. At all. Like before
Welcome
I
to the
say
club.
we won and all this, I need to point out the officiating was horrendous. Kovacic should have got
Hmm.
a red card, not once but twice.
Yeah, one on
Forget
Rice
once.
and one on Odegaard, I guess.
Yeah. Right, at least one. And I do not know what the ref was thinking. Ref was probably thinking in the spirit of the game, let it
Apology
go
nahi hai.
on. Huh?
Apology
Uh,
nahi hai.
yeah, but whatever it was, and I was like, why you doing this, bro?
Maybe they are scared of giving red after Liverpool.
Yeah,
Don't
whatever
blame
it
it us,
was.
on. Don't blame it on us. We tried our best. Yeah.
But it was
Abhay.
that kind of officiating was a little horrendous. That's what I felt, because
Hmm.
I mean, one player changes the game quite a bit.
Obviously.
But other than that, I would like to say that the officiating was all right. Barring those incidents, I felt
Yeah,
the officiating
right.
was all right.
Okay.
But if you looked at the match, it seemed the first few minutes, it seemed like City is going to bulldoze us. That's what it felt like. But in as the game went on, we started playing better. And there's also one important thing to note, that Arsenal have just two outlets in terms of people who can actually stretch defenses. That's Saka and Martinelli, and both were out, as luck would have it, right? But this time, even they had some key players out. So, like, I cannot you cannot take that away that we worked very hard for it, but they did not have Rodri. And
Ah.
Rodri, and if you've seen the last three matches that they have lost, it's without Rodri.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now
suspension.
that has happened, it shows that how certain players are way more important than the other players. It's usually to do with the fact that who is their replacement more than
Right.
anything,
Hmm.
right? And obviously KDB was not there, or else usually KDB, no matter what injury he has, he comes to play against Arsenal with a vengeance like never seen before,
No
always
wonder
tearing the
City
game apart.
wanted Rice to
Hmm?
fill in that Rodri role,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Rice was actually on the other side of the.
And
By the way,
Rice.
the I think the fact that I think Pep said that before, I guess, that he could probably provide Rice some matches as well. It was not like he was just going to be on bench, while
Yeah.
he's basically the starter for Arsenal. It says about how much like the I think Rodri is good for them.
Yeah.
So right, so
Rodri is a player who makes them take. It's also about the fact that the replacement that they bought for Rodri,
Calvin Phillips.
Calvin Phillips, they did not give him enough games for him to be match fit
yeah,
and whatnot,
Hmm.
true.
because he was not a bad player,
That's a
right?
criticism of Pep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
but he just used Rodri like that, and then all of a sudden you expect a player comes to play after, let's say, half the season is gone or more than that is gone, he won't be the same. He does not have the
Obviously,
match fitness or the sharpness.
obviously.
And as Rajesh was saying, that it became a little boring. But if I looked at the second half, it was a pure tactical battle wherein
Correct.
not a single team was committing mistakes. That's like
Yes.
I mean, as a pure football fan, that's like a. I was just like, where is the mistake coming from, right?
Mm,
And
yes.
the goal that we scored
That's
also.
that feels like a good
That's
actually
right.
a match to watch.
it might not be for a neutral because you're thinking what
Correct.
is happening,
Mm.
but for a fan you're like, wow, are we that good that we are
Yeah.
limiting their chances to
Ah,
score less?
right, right,
That's
right.
how
Yeah.
I felt.
Hmm.
And also the last goal also, I mean, it was a deflection, all right. Okay, we scored a goal, but it was a deflection. But
Mhm.
we looked more threatening due to two reasons. Firstly, Martinelli
Martinelli.
had come out on the field, who is one of our outlets. So when we started off, we had no outlets. Gabriel Jesus was there, Trossard was there, and Ketia was there for some time. But none of them are
I have a
outlets.
question. Do you think a Trossard, if not for the injury, would have stayed on beyond the second half?
Yes, 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 yes.
That would have
Uh,
been a problem for you. So it's a blessing in disguise, I suppose, considering
no,
the
no,
first
no.
half
So here's
performance.
the thing. Martinelli just the day before, like he was telling the boss, "I'm fit. Play me, play me, play me." And
Yeah, yeah,
physios
correct.
were, we can't,
We
we
can't.
can't do this.
Mm, correct.
Just but come 30th minute, Trossard pulled his hammy. So
Ah.
as soon as
Hmm.
that happened, Arteta looked at Gabriel Martinelli, and
बचा ले भाई.
yeah, and he was itching to go. So there are certain
Hmm.
players who just want to be on the pitch
Mm,
somehow, and he's one of those guys.
Nice,
And
man.
when he
Nice.
came in, the first thing he did is first thing he did is a step over, and then he tried to shoot or put in a cross. But the kind of intensity he brought on, it just woke everybody up. And the
Hmm.
second player that I would like to give credit to is Party, because he came on the field,
mm.
and I
मेरा
keep
जो
on
कॉम्बिनेशन था वो काम आया भाई.
because
पार्टी राइस.
because okay, so our best midfield actually is Odegaard, Partey, and Rice. We are not able to
Okay.
play because कोई ना कोई injured हो
Out
ही
है.
जाता है,
Hmm.
Prediction
है
came
ना?
true.
Uh, कोई ना कोई, because that is the midfield that we can compete with a lot of
Solid.
teams, most of the teams, and probably win also.
ये पार्टी
Hmm.
को बस
Partey
तुम
is
वो
is
रखो, फिट रखो.
is a pure vertical passer in our team, pure. उससे पहले हम साइड में सेफ पास ये वो
राइस शील्ड कर देगा, पार्टी
Hmm.
अपना मजे करेगा.
right, because Rice right now does not have the capacity to put through the line passes.
Yes.
That is still a fight that we have with him. But in terms of cleaning up the ball and safeguarding our defense and whatnot, he did an absolute top job. Like
That's what you were lacking, because
yeah,
Hmm.
Party
yeah,
was asked to do both the jobs,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Rice proper interceptor when
Mhm.
Arsenal were putting forward.
And also, big up to our center defenders, Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. They have done a great job. The every time we have lost a goal is because we have done something stupid ourselves. It's not these two center backs in general who have done it.
Hmm.
It's the
Hmm.
team as a whole who's just messed up so bad. And people keep saying Arsenal have a weak spine or they have a soft underbelly. Arsenal has this habit of taking a knife and just cutting its own stomach. It's like, look at our guts, and it's an
Okay,
absolute horror.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think uh, City after winning the treble have lost some hunger? Because many people are saying that okay, we pointed out Rodri was a miss, KDB is a miss. So do you really think that you know City won couple of titles without a striker? We all know that. And City have won games and been dominant against the top six, even without their key players, even without KDB when he was injured. So we have seen City and we have praised Pep to manage a team and still get away wins. Do you think that a little bit of lack of ambition this season after having won the treble somehow? Did you face
No.
a City that you
Uh,
thought is going to
hmm.
be unbeatable? That is my question.
I think two things have taken into place. Firstly, City lost on Gundogan as well, who was a world class player
World
in terms
class.
of giving the goals and assists as well.
What a pick.
In terms of controlling the midfield as well, he
True,
could do
true,
everything.
true.
And they
Well said.
replaced him with Kovacic, who's not a
Hmm.
bad player, but his
But
only
वो
USP
गुंडन
is
नहीं है.
being press resistant. You can't replace a player like Gundogan with Kovacic
Kovacic.
and
True,
and expect
Perfect.
to have the same results.
true.
Yes.
Two of their major players, all right, they got injured,
Hmm.
right?
Mm.
I mean, even we had injuries, but it's just that they had all the good players in their midfield gone.
Mm.
right? The midfield they were playing was Rico Lewis, right? Rico Lewis, who's
He's
a
top.
young kid.
He's top.
So,
But
so what has happened is their midfield, I do believe, in the current state has gone a level lower.
Yeah,
Mm.
I
Even
would
if they had
actually
that,
add on that Rico Lewis thing. I think I saw in the press conference of Pep as well that what he said is because Rodri was missing, he needed players who can be in that midfield, who can do all the work, right? Who can defend, who can just turn and run around, right? So he wanted to fill his midfield with such players.
no, in
but
that
but but
short
but
spaces, right? Rico
Yeah,
Lewis is very good.
yeah, but he's like with what do you call experience, he'll probably come, but
yeah,
you
Yeah.
cannot replace a midfield of Gundogan, Rodri, and KDB with what they replace. So I do believe in terms of the quality itself, their midfield has gone down a level.
Mm.
But you also need to understand that Arsenal finally played against City with a very good team as well. When you look at the team that played against City the second half, right? We still had a few players missing, but that's a team which is an upgrade from the team that was last season that played City. So that happened. So two things have happened. In terms of hunger, I would say that City have this thing that come February, their eyes light up and they want to chase everything and anything down. It's just like they figured out how to pace the season. That is what I
Mm.
believe.
Yeah.
I have to,
That's
I want to
such a
share.
great way of explaining
Right.
it, by the way. They have found out a way to pace
Yeah.
the season. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to
Yeah.
share something from the city's front as what I saw. First of all, I think that Pep did acknowledge that they have key players missing, and I saw him respecting Arsenal a lot more this time, being defensively compact and making sure they don't like do press you. Maybe you can say that Arsenal did was press resistant, but I believe they were a little cautious this time.
Yes.
Uh, and one more thing, one more similarities I have seen or I have read about that this same situation, like last time they lost two matches in a row. It was time when they were Fernandinho, right? That was yeah. So he was missing for those two matches, right? So similar condition has happened where now Rodri has been missing. They lost the two back-to-back games, and they switched to a same formation, which is a narrow one, right? He tried to fill his midfield with players like with he did with Phil Foden and Alvarez. So he tried to make the same tactic here. And the difference between that season, a good thing about that season for them was that after those two matches that Fernandinho missed, they cope up with it. And at the later half of the season, Fernandinho was not even playing in their team. That is how good, and they'll win the league. Right? That's how good they cope up with players missing. It can see like one or two matches they have lost, but he will find a way to
Yeah, he'll find
the
a way. He'll find a
clock
way.
tick again.
But I also believe that there were two players who could have caused this massive problems. One was Jeremy Doku, and the other was Jack Grealish, right? And like Alvarez was a very good player. Is still a very good player, but he did not cause us that much damage. And by the time Doku came, he had very less time to make an impact,
Mm.
right? Also, I believe that Phil Foden he uses as a winger, but that is helpful when you're dominating the other team completely. But when you want to stretch the other team, like if they're playing against even a United or Liverpool, Foden is not that helpful. Foden is a ball keeper. He's not someone who's going to dribble and get past a player. And right now, City just have
Foden.
to. Huh?
Foden. You're talking about Foden?
Yeah, I don't think he has the ability to run past players.
Man, he's
No,
done
no,
it for
no.
England and City. He's a very good dribbler.
No,
With
not
No,
the
dribbler.
ball.
I think
no,
running
he's
on the
he's a.
line. Running on the
I'm saying
line.
when you're saying a good dribbler, you're saying I believe he's a good dribbler in a short space inside the D, somewhere near the D, not at the touch line, is what I'm
Correct.
saying.
Yeah.
In
So
terms of stretching,
exactly
Through the
that,
middle, yeah, through the
that's
middle
what
we've
yeah,
seen multiple
yeah,
times,
through the
but
middle he's
not
beautiful.
through the wide areas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
through
exactly
the
that
wide
was
Yeah.
that was the strategy of Pep, right? On this, that he wanted to be in a narrow and not be in a wide formation. That's where
yeah.
he wanted to come up with this tactic, which did not work at the end.
Yeah, because also I would like to like I keep criticizing Arteta on his man management and his what do you call on his substitutions. For the first time, he brought on first substitutions at halftime itself, which I was very happy about.
Because of
And,
injuries.
because of one injury, but so here's what's happened, right? Last season, what happened was Zinchenko used to play 90 minutes and he used to get injured, right? So this time, every time the 70th minute comes, irrespective of what position we are in, Arteta brings on Tomiyasu. Always. I mean,
Always, yeah.
because he's like, so I'm happy that he's learned at least some lesson, right? But when I saw the team that had come up with in the first half with Jorginho in midfield, I was shit scared. I was shit scared because bro, like
Jorginho, even in this match, he was dispossessed a couple of times. I mean, Jorginho को लगता है कि भाई मैं बहुत ही सुपर टेक्नीशियन हूँ, इनिएस्टा लेवल का निकाल लूंगा.
No, he's a technician, but in a physical league in the Premier League, right? You do feel a little scared because you don't get time on the ball. Yeah, you're pressed off
Pressure
it.
बहुत अच्छा
You're
होता है.
hounded,
The
na?
pressure,
You're hounded all the time.
yeah, the pressing by the teams, and you're playing City. You're not playing United at their
Yeah.
low and other teams. Pressing
No,
is
but I genuinely believe even in United, if you play McTominay and Jorginho in midfield, I'm shit scared that McTominay will win the ball of Jorginho. So Jorginho, I mean, with respect to Jorginho, if you give him time on the ball, he's going to kill you. He's going to kill you with 1,000 passes. He has that ability. But if you press it off him, even when he was in Chelsea, I felt this that if Jorginho had the ball, you had the chance to get the ball off him if you pressed him enough. Like he was the present trigger for me, right? And I would also like
what
to,
did you make of Raya, man? Raya had a few nervy moments, man. I mean,
yeah,
Arteta was on to him in the first half. कि
no,
भाई
yeah, so
इतना late
like,
release क्यों कर रहा है?
Why
so
he grew?
so for first half he was very jittery, right?
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
jittery, and he was giving away the ball and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure in the halftime he's got a lot of blocking
Mouthful,
from
yeah.
Arteta, right? But at the end of the match, Arteta was asked about Raya. He said, "If you want to
तो
blame
बोलेगा ही.
someone, blame it all on me, because I only told him to play a certain way." Also,
अच्छा.
the coming of the match was Mr. Kai Havertz, Mr. 65 million pounds down the drain, which I still believe. I mean, when I keep looking at Spurs and I see what they have bought in 40 million pounds in Madison, I'm like, it actually might be down the drain. But when you keep looking at Kai Havertz, I realized in the big games, he plays really well as a false nine. Really, really well. He City के against तो उसका है ही भाई.
रिश्ता ही
चैंपियंस
अलग
लीग में भी
है.
ऐसे ही किया था वो,
हाँ.
है ना? Because I do not know what Chelsea have done to Kai Havertz, because I do not recognize the player he was in Bayern to what in Leverkusen what he's right now.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
used to give passes through the lines for lunch, dinner, and breakfast.
Dude,
And
do you not remember last year Chelsea, man? They were
Emotional damage.
I swear, players just become so shit at that place, bro. So shit at that place.
Let's
So,
not go to
I
Chelsea.
mean-
You know, I want to ask this one thing. You know that and at the end, you know, you got a goal off deflection. Let's just say if that goal did not happen, but the way you were playing, did you see yourself score at any point? Because you were saying it was very tight, right?
Yeah, it was very tight. Actually, what was happening was obviously Martinelli came in and we started attacking a little more. But the other thing that also happened was Gabriel Jesus was getting into really good positions. The
Okay.
only thing that was happening was he was always trying to shoot himself. Every time Gabriel Jesus came in, there was Declan Rice or Odegaard who was free for a cut-in. Always. But this guy, he's like, I'll bring Brazil to the streets. Bro, we don't want it.
I'll show Pep. I'll show Pep.
Bro, I swear, he's done the hard part. He's literally done everything hard. There is no angle to shoot. Bro is adamant, मैं शॉट मारेगा.
भाई
And
Amazon
then he
Prime
makes
में
this
कैसे
win.
आएगा अगर गोल नहीं मारेगा तो?
It's all or nothing, man. It's all or
It's all or
nothing.
nothing. So
Bro,
I
this
mean,
is not some Joga Bonito or Nike ka ad. Please pass, bro. I was so
seriously,
pissed,
man.
bro.
Just
I was
do.
so
Oh
pissed.
my God.
But
He could have scored
yeah, like Abhay was
a
mentioning,
goal
in the
or
first
more.
half itself, you were getting a lot of cut-ins.
Bro,
You know,
yeah,
must.
we were getting a lot of joy that side, in spite of Guardiola doing a great job.
Hmm.
Uh, Gabriel Jesus is just a good dribbler that way in terms of turning on the spot, right?
Right.
and
But
keeping the
his
ball.
decision making and sometimes his IQ in front of the goal, it feels like everything goes out of the window. He's got blinders on. He's like, "Ye goal hai, main hi marega," and he takes such a shitty shot. Three people are there. What are you doing, brother? What are
Yeah,
you
man.
doing, brother?
So I mean, we complain a lot about players like that, and we start to wonder, what are the coaches doing? What are these players doing in the training ground? Because they keep repeating the same mistakes. I
No,
guess
because
it's not as easy as saying that
no,
this
yeah,
player did
it's not
this.
as easy, and there's a rush of blood and
There's a
whatnot.
loss of
But
blood, and
but
it
but
has to come naturally a little bit.
no, no,
Well,
but I would like to say this that if you're getting in the same position three times, at least the third time pass. No, you can make mistake once,
yeah,
twice.
exactly.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that
yeah.
was a
Acha.
This is
criticism
what
of
I'm going to
Rashford
do.
as well.
Mm.
So yeah, I guess all in all, a great game, a great point for Arsenal, and I
And
guess their
it
quest
didn't feel
for
like a smash and grab, to be very honest. It felt like we, for a large part of the game, not a large part, but the second half of the game, we were actually dominant on them, which was something that I really liked.
Correct.
If it would have been a smash and grab, I would have been happy nonetheless.
yeah, I
Hmm.
mean,
Yeah,
at the end, obviously, both the teams did not want to lose the game because
right.
it ever so looked like like Abhay mentioned earlier, right? Who is going to commit that one mistake and the goal is
Yep,
going to come out of that.
yep.
But when the goal actually came, I mean, I was of the opinion that okay, this is a nil-nil draw, it's done. But then, yeah, freak things happen in football,
Uh-huh.
and Arsenal are having none of all these things because they've heard enough apologies from refs, and they would have, and this discussion that we are having would have been all about the red card incidents
True,
had
Yeah,
true,
Arsenal not won the game,
true.
guys.
Correct.
So,
yeah,
Oh.
but I
yeah.
started
So
off with it
I-
because
if if
it was
even
clear.
if it's not an Amazon Prime Max Pro worthy performance, Arsenal get 3 points, boys. So
Yeah,
great. Your
great.
quest for the title goes on. Clap for
Yeah,
Then
Arsenal.
they
man.
will
Don't
start.
give people false sense of security, man.
No,
Okay.
no,
And
no, no, no.
and the
What?
only good part of from City is that they have played easier games till now, right? Till Arsenal game, and that's where they picked up a point with their players missing. So
Like, सही बात बताऊं
yeah,
तो even Spurs have had fair share of joy with all of their guns blazing, and
Mm.
they've done doubles, man. He's a shit
yeah.
season, Spurs season. They've done a double over City. Okay,
Yeah.
Bro,
so
they
We
have
have a
every
number
team,
of
no,
City, man.
it's a
We have a
pattern.
number on City.
Spurs are the
Every
number
team
on
that
City, yeah.
plays in transition against City, right? They will get
Mm.
some joy out of the game.
Mm.
So you just
Yeah.
sit back. Mourinho has won, Conte has won.
But
They have all played sit at the
not
back,
this
far
game.
cover.
But the only difference between this game and any other game is that whenever City loses, you say that the second best team on the day won today. Maybe they were lucky or whatever. But today
This
it
time it
was
was
not a
yes.
luck. It was
Yes.
not a luck. They were, and even I did not, after Arsenal scored one goal, I did not even see urgency from City कि भाई वापस आना है. They
Hmm.
were, they were happy with 1-0. It seems like they were not even
हाँ
pushed.
भाई फरवरी में खेलेंगे ना
ठीक है.
खेला हो गए